Welcome to another episode, everyone. OG Scrappy Blue is in prison for a drive-by that killed his own cousin. He did not know that this individual was his cousin. And this is what happens when we're out here living a diabolical lifestyle in these treacherous streets. We're not humble. We're headstrong. We're violent in this genocidal culture that we're all involved in. And we're out here running rampant and running crazy, shooting up everybody, killing people. Then you end up killing your own cousin, didn't even know it. He's been locked up for 23 years trying to get out of there after killing his own cousin.
I was in the county jail, and I'm on the phone with my father. He put me on the phone with my older cousin, Tony. He was like, man, Tony want to tell you something. He like, tell me what happened. I'm like, why, what's going on? He said, because that was your cousin, Dontavius. I'm like, you talking about your son? He was like, yeah. At that point, it felt like all the energy left me. I wake up every morning realizing that the crime I'm in jail for happened on my own cousin. What's up, y'all? This is Anthony Brumfield coming here, man. I just wanted to talk to y'all about a lot of stuff. I came to jail at the age of 19. I'm 42 now. I've been down 23 years for a murder, for a drive-by shooting. It's hard coming to jail being at that age, because at that time, I came in just like a lot of young dudes. I was lost and still trying to prove myself. In prison, we learn what the older homies supposed to teach us. And that was still basically proving ourselves, being blind to what's going on out there right now. Being blind what's going on in here. We brought in here to separate and hate, but at the same time, we never realized the harm that we was committing on ourselves and our family. So it's always been hard. I wake up every morning realizing that the crime I'm in jail for happened on my own cousin that I never got a chance to meet, never sat down with or nothing. It's just when I found out what I'm in jail for the murder of Dontavius Marshall, trying to find out that he was my flesh and blood cousin. Every day I hurt from that. So every day, I tell a lot of people now, a lot of the young dudes, I talk to them and I try to tell them, like, man, there's too much life out there for us to be.
And I'm sure that it's not an act whatsoever. I'm sure he is remorseful. I'm sure he does hurt every day from this, as he just said that he does, that he hurts every day from this. Imagine the outrage when you find out that the individual that you are going to jail for the rest of your life for killing is your own flesh and blood. It's your own cousin, and you didn't even know it. And you done killed the man. Now you got to talk to his father on the phone saying, man, you know you killed your cousin. You know you killed my son. Oh, wow. And that's what I mean. We out here running crazy and running rampant. And there was another individual that had paroled after 33 years for robbing and killing his own cousin and didn't know that it was his cousin. First of all, we need to find out who the heck our family is before we go around having babies with them or something, because we don't even know that we are related, or doing something like this, unaliving one of our own family members, unbeknownst to us. Don't find out until after the fact. But the bottom line is, we should not be unaliving anyone. That's the point. That's the problem. Because if it was not his cousin that he unalived during this drive-by, it would have been someone else's cousin. And what's the difference? It would have been someone else's cousin. They love their cousin as much as you love your cousin that you've never met. It would have been someone else's cousin, someone else's family member that lost their life. So the bottom line is, put the weapons down, period, and stop this freaking nonsense that's putting people in prison for the rest of their life and putting people in the cemetery. Your own people. This is the problem.
At war with each other. We're about war about something that we don't even own. Having life without at the age of 19 gave me no hope. I just started finding hope 5 years ago. Everybody in prison knew me as Scrappy Blue. Now it's just like whatever a person want to talk about, I'm open to talking about it, because now I know how to show empathy and respect and show love, something that I never shared ever in my life except for with my family. People that's out there, I really wish everybody could come together now and realize that a lot of this stuff that we go through is really coming from a lot of stuff that we grew up as kids. I never knew understanding what empathy and love was. except for when it came to my mama and my daddy. Learning this stuff has been like one of the hardest things, but it's been a blessing to me now that I'm actually being able to one day be considered a going home. So I just really want everybody to know, like, to really think before you act. Because a lot of us really don't know I never knew what the word impulse was. I never knew what impulsive ever meant until I started taking these classes and learning about a lot of this stuff. Most people that always knew me knew I was the person that my play button always stayed pressed. I was always ready to go at any time. Now it's like, when you think about it, at 42 years old, I came to jail as a child, with a childish mind state. So I really wish everybody just learn. If I could tell you anything, any young dudes to learn from is, bro, just think before you act. It's not worth it. Once you come up in here, no matter what nobody tell you, what you doing out there and all that, never be afraid to ask questions, never be afraid to learn new stuff. So that's about anything that I could actually tell y'all. You know what I mean? Love your family and always make it family first, bro. Like, this right here in prison ain't it. And it's only gonna get worse. Thank you, y'all, for taking the time to listen to me. And I appreciate everybody for listening to what I gotta say.
Yeah, my question is, two questions actually. How did you find out that was your cousin, your flesh and blood, and then shoot? Like, how did you feel in that immediate moment?
When I first found out, I was in the county jail, and I'm on the phone with my father. And
I mean, typically when I cover these individuals that are in prison, and here you have a look at an actual prison yard. I've done over 30 years of incarceration, unfortunately, myself on these prison yards. This is what they look like. This can be any one of them: Lancaster, Centinela, Corcoran, whatever. This is the lineup. This is what the building looks like. And of course, it brings back dreadful memories for myself when I cover this sort of stuff and looking at these individuals on the yard. And this is the prison garb. But this is also the prison rhetoric. After being locked up for 23 years, all of a sudden, you have these revelations that everything that you are in there for is all a lie. It's all a sham. It's all a scam. That, you were fighting for something that did not belong to you and that did not care about you, does not care about you. And you come to the realization that you've squandered your life unless you have another chance, and you begin to fight for that other chance with the realization that, you can never make this sort of mistake again for some sort of gang or whatever that doesn't have a care about you whatsoever. But oftentimes individuals get out, and the recidivism rate remains high because they say this sort of thing when they're in prison, as I did many times, and then get out of prison, and it's the same old song. Nevertheless, there are many individuals who get out of prison who have this disposition and who never return. I know many individuals who are out now who have been out for many years, and they don't do anything that is against the law anymore. They are not going back to prison. Neither am I. We want to stay out. So you can be rehabilitated in there. You can't rehabilitate yourself. If nothing else than just the fact that you don't want to be back in there. Maybe you haven't even changed your ways necessarily. You're not all of a sudden a Bible-toting individual. You're not religious or any of that stuff. You perhaps are the same individual. You just have better control of yourself and know better than to act on who you really are, because it's going to lead you back to that place. So you just change your ways or change the way that you react to situations. You still are the same person. You just walk away and say, boy, if that had been 15 years ago, boy, I'd have did you in, kid. You're lucky that I don't want to go back to prison. And then you walk away from the situation. But not everyone does that. We'll see what happens with this individual here, Scrappy Blue. Shout out to him, and I wish him well. Seems like an articulate, intelligent individual. He seems rather remorseful to me. I don't think that this is an act a put on at all. I would imagine that he would be sympathetic or remorseful, having again deleted his own cousin in a drive-by and received a life sentence on top of that. The double whammy. All bad for that family. So I would assume that he's being very genuine and sincere when he says that he's remorseful and that he thinks about this every day. I believe that. And I believe that when he get out, I believe, I hope that he does get out at some point. He's been in there more than half of his life. Came in there at 19. He's been in there for 23 years. Yes, he took someone's life, but none of us are perfect. He seems remorseful. We'll see what happens. Stay strong.
He put me on the phone with my older cousin, Tony. He was like, man, Tony want to tell you something. So when my cousin got on the phone with me, he like, cousin, he like, tell me what happened. At that time, at that young age, I'm like, man, I can't really talk like that, man. But when I asked him, I'm like, why, what's going on? He said, because that was your cousin, Dontavius. When I heard his name, I knew the name. I never seen his face though. So when he said Dontavius, only thing I could do is put my head down. I'm like, you talking about your son? He was like, yeah. At that point, it felt like all the energy left me. Like, damn, I'm really in jail for my cousin. Like, it's like, even though at that time I was always telling my cousin, he knew I wasn't lying to him when I told him, I didn't know that was gonna happen. But even though I didn't know it was gonna happen, I didn't do nothing to stop it. So that's what really like made it worse, because to this day, I wake up every morning realizing like, damn, I'm really in jail for my cousin. At one point in time, I was angry. I blamed everybody else. It was everybody else's fault. I didn't do nothing. Even in my trial, they found everything. They found me not to be the shooter and everything, but they still gave me life. So I was mad at that. But as I started looking at it from his mama's side, how would my mama feel if she found out that it was the other way around? And I never had a chance to tell her this. I never had a chance to tell his brother and them this, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what happened to Dontavius. I'm sorry for how I made y'all feel. Even when y'all asked me, who was it? And I couldn't tell y'all. I'm so sincere when I tell you from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry for causing y'all this pain. And if there's any way I can ever make it right, I am. I'm doing everything I can to make myself a better person. Since I've been in prison, I got my GED, I had college courses. I'm doing everything. I'm in a dog program. I'm giving back to the youth. I'm doing everything, but everything that I'm doing is to better myself, but this is in the name of my cousin Dontavius. Because I know I can never bring that back. I can never give his kids their father back. I can never give his mother or his sister their brother or son back. So the only thing I can do is live life continuously and make myself a better person. To this day.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. So he had children? I don't know. I'm not here to critique or judge this individual here. Certainly he has been through enough and enough turmoil, having been in prison for 23 years. Nevertheless, how is it that you're just now able to apologize to them? He says that he never had a chance to apologize to the family, which is his own family. Until now, it's been 23 years. I suppose perhaps maybe they didn't want to hear from him or didn't want to accept his letters or something like that, I guess would have to be the situation, because I don't know how you don't get a hold of someone, particularly your own family, in 23 years, if you're really trying, if you're making an effort. You're telling someone, you're telling your own family, the other people, your brother and sister, man, tell them I'm sorry. Tell them I'm sorry. Please go over there and put the phone on speaker. I need to tell him, or whatever. And then he said he wouldn't reveal who it was, I guess that was the shooter, to his family, keeping his street code and all of that. And, of course, they were upset about that. You're going to choose your gang or, the street code or whatever over your family. You're already involved. You're already a part of it. Your own cousin died. Now you won't even say what really happened. So, yeah, maybe he didn't have a chance to apologize, and maybe they didn't want to talk to him no more after that. You killed my son or whatever, and then you're not even, saying too much about it. But he's remorseful now, apparently, clearly, seems like, And he's apologizing now, better late than never, better than doubling down or whatever. He's apologizing now to the family. Perhaps they will see this. Hopefully they will from that episode. Not saying my channel. I'm just saying, well, hopefully my channel. Hopefully the family sees this. He's apologized. I'm not sure how much that's going to do because that doesn't bring the individual back.
It hurts. And I'm realizing through these classes that I'm taking, if I could really go back and change anything, it'll be that day. It'll be that day where I could be able to tell people like, nah, I'm not finna even get in that car. A lot of stuff that we do come from, even though we might not admit it's peer pressure, but it's about us caring about what other people think about us. To this day now, I don't care about what nobody thinks about me. I chose now to walk away from everything. And a lot of people might think differently of it. Some people understand it. But if I could change that day, I would. So if the family is watching this, I'm sorry.
Okay. He apologized again. He said it again, but I don't know. It's hard for me to understand how come he's just now able to do this, but he's just now publicly making a statement. He's just now publicly getting a camera in front of him and doing an interview. So he's perhaps hoping that the family does see this. Again, it looks like he hasn't had a chance to apologize until now, or they haven't wanted to hear his apology, And now, if they see this, they will have no choice but to hear the apology. It sounds like perhaps it's something like that. Other than that, I don't understand how it takes 23 years to apologize. Nevertheless, he did apologize. Shout out to that individual, Scrappy Blue. Sorry about what happened to him and his cousin and his entire family. This, of course, broke the family up, maybe separated them. People were arguing and fighting and not getting along. And they probably had to take sides and all of that. If he's just now able to apologize, then at least that side of the family didn't want to hear it. So perhaps they could have took it out on the whole family, all of this sort of stuff. Who knows? And he's been in there for 23 years. But apparently he's now denouncing the streets. And we'll see what happens if he can make his way out of prison, and if he is really redeemed once he is out of prison. If he will be an asset to the community and can perhaps speak to the youth and such and guide them in the right direction and tell these young individuals to put these weapons down. Because when you pick them up and squeeze the trigger, you could indeed be killing your own family and not know it. But whomever it is that you are deleting from this earth and you have no right to do it, who are you to take someone else's life? Whomever you may be deleting or you will be deleting from this earth has someone that loves them, a cousin, like this individual, mother, father, brother, sister, son, daughter, friend, co-worker, person at the grocery market. So none of us have a right to take anyone's life. None of us are that powerful. We'll see what happens with that individual again, Scrappy Blue. But everyone put the weapons down because that's not what it seems to be. We think we're tough and it's all fun and games in the beginning. But in the end, you live a life of turmoil, a life in prison, or you don't have a life at all. Your life is snuffed out over something trivial and minute because of the gun and gang culture. Every slight is exaggerated, so individuals are quick to whip out these weapons and use them. And it's just not worth it. Stay safe and stay free, people.